Yo, much appreciate y'all American people. So yeah, yesterday, I went over how these companies have been selling, people's DNA and all of that, right? Um, Companies such as 23andMe, whoever else, you know what I'm saying? So it's a lot of these different foreign owned companies that's doing this, that's involved in it. You know what I mean? So yeah, I'm about to go ahead and get into this part two or continuation rather from yesterday. Um, Situation is real serious, and it's real unfortunate that we don't have enough people speaking on these subjects. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just gonna do what I do, and hope you find this information informative, useful, beneficial. Hope you share this information, inform your peoples about it. You know what I mean? There's real world situations going on. Yo, Alito, Amos Carr, see you. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and jump right into it. Let me get the screen share up. You know what I mean? So yeah, I just posted this video on my YouTube channel, Tomahawk Tony joint, right? Yeah, screen share running. Let's go to get it. Oh shit, I'm fucking up. Hold up. We got it. Nah, pressing buttons too fast. All right, here we go. So yeah, I just uploaded this video right here to YouTube. And so you going to hear what I'm saying on here. Let me just go ahead and run the video. Y'all can check it out. Over the years, we have had various groups of Pan Africans and other foreigners speaking disrespectfully and ignorantly towards our American people's ancestry, culture, and heritage. These same foreign groups use the promotion of DNA testing as a means to falsely disprove our natural American identity. So it broke on CNN. So I'm gonna pause it right there real quick, right? So as y'all see, this the dude. So it broke on CNN. That's the dude, Henry Louis Gates, right? And so he's a Harvard professor. Okay, this guy's a Harvard professor. Um, and he's been promoting for some years now genealogy and genetic testing in regards to quote unquote African American history. All right. Genetic testing is what these foreigners have been promoting towards our people. You know what I'm saying? Let's go continue with this video though. Our natural American identity. So it broke on CNN. I was sitting in my living room minding my own business. I said, Oprah Winfrey's a Zulu. So I called Rick Kittles. And I said, Rick, did you tell Oprah she was a Zulu? He goes, no, man. She made that up herself. It's a true story. It's a true story. I would lie to make you laugh, but I'm telling you a true story. So I said, Rick, are you in your lab? He said, yeah. I said, is anybody there? He said, no. I said, when the results come in, make her Zulu, man. I said, you back there making it up anyway. You're back there making it up anyway. Yeah, Mama Chief, I see you. How you doing? Salute. So yeah, this dude, Henry Louis Gates, a Harvard University professor, he's saying how he spoke to the dude, Rick Kittles, and told the dude, you're back there making it up anyway. Go ahead and make this shit up. Let's continue. Anybody believe you can take some spit and figure out a tribe? What are you, crazy? These are his words. Listen to what this guy's saying, right? No one believes that you could take some spit and figure out a tribe, right? Take some spit and figure out a tribe. Okay. But what can you do with that DNA though? Let's continue. And so what you're about to see right here, right? Coming up next is this Harvard professor. I showed a couple months ago in a couple months old presentation I did, right? Dealing with these Hebrews and Moors that came over here with all the colonists. The Hebrews and Moors are colonists, period. Negropeans, right? This is a Harvard professor. Harvard University is one of the oldest, one of the first colonial colleges, right? If this is the case and there's records for all of this, right? Harvard University has records. How come he's not promoting that line of data? But he's promoting DNA testing, right? Let's continue. So this is the book I showed a few months ago when I did that presentation in regards to Harvard University slave lives, pardon me. They was lying about slaves, African slaves, and this, that, and the other. Nah, they came from Europe. This book shows the ships they came on. Straight up. For those that want to know, here you go. I've already presented this. Free book available on archive.org. All right. I'm not going to show it right now. Feel free to pull up that previous video I did a few months ago dealing with Harvard and slavery lies and this, that, and the other. But this book right here, as it says, A Genealogical History, Jews and Muslims in British Colonial America. These are Moriscos and Moranos and whoever else that came directly from Europe, and they was over there at Harvard University as well. Let's continue. So on this page here, this is from yesterday I showed, right? Direct-to-consumer genetic testing and the consequences to the public health, where I read yesterday how it is entertainment, not medicine, for entertainment purposes only, not for medical reasons. Direct-to-consumer tests are of merely entertainment value. Okay, that's what it's saying here. This is a Senate congressional hearing right here, House of Representatives, 111th Congress, dated July 22nd, 2010. Let's continue.
New warning tonight about DNA companies and your personal information. Your DNA information can be sold and weaponized against you.
Okay, so it's good that we're hearing about this so many years later, right? So many years later, we're finally hearing about this. That, oh, the 23andMe, they reference 23andMe. Numerous speakers are referencing 23andMe, but they're saying all of them, though. These are people in legislation. These are people that is congressmen and congresswomen, etc. People in the science and medical fields, etc. They just had a conference within the past week over there in Colorado about this. And we're finally hearing about this, right? And this is after these Pan-Africans and these fake natives and whoever else have been telling our people who are blatantly telling these foreigners that, yo, we are Aboriginal, we are talking this, we are indigenous to this American continent. This is my nation, this is my tribe, what have you, da 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 da. I have records, etc., etc., etc. And they're telling you to take a DNA test. They're telling people that don't even know how to do the research, oh, you want to know where your people come from? Do a DNA test. And meanwhile, this is going on. Let's continue.
The alarm being sounded. Listen to this.
You can actually take DNA, take their medical profile, and you can target a biological weapon that will kill that person. And people will very rapidly spit into it.
Take your DNA, and here it is. There are companies that is collecting your DNA, harvesting your data, they're selling your data, and weapons are being made. That's what this is about. Let's continue.
A cup and send it into 23andMe and get really interesting data about their background. And guess what? Their DNA is now owned by a private company. It can be sold off. We have to have an open and public discussion about what does the protection of healthcare information, DNA information, and your data look like, because that data is actually going to be procured and collected by our adversaries for the development of these systems.
And before anybody goes crazy on this out there, that's a Democrat Congressman, Jason Crow, so not a right-wing talking point. I have been warning people about this for years, since 23andMe and all those spit in the vial, send it in. We're giving our information away. Health information is valuable information about you, and also the abuse and where the data is stored. You brought up that point in the break, Tammy. I want to go to you first. Who has the data matters here?
This is an additional element to this bio warfare that's active, right? This article is dated this week, July 24th, 2022. Biological weapons could target DNA food supply, 2 U.S. lawmakers say. So that congressman we just heard speaking a few moments ago, this is his quote. People will very rapidly spit into a cup and send it to 23andMe and get really interesting data about their background. And guess what? Their DNA is now owned by a private company. It can be sold off. The fact is, it is being sold off. We have 5 days ago, DNA test to kill Americans. New York Post right there, right? Let's continue.
It's not the data or DNA that's the problem. It's the companies or the countries that control the data.
The companies and the countries that control the data. Foreign corporations have been active since the invasion. I've shown this in past presentations. The Virginia Company, so on and so forth. The Barbary Company, so on and so forth. So many companies. The East African Company, so on and so forth. All these foreign nations all been working together. More foreign nations done got involved. It's been profitable to colonize this American continent, to exploit our American people. It's profitable. All these countries are doing very well for themselves. Meanwhile, our American people are suffering, right? Meanwhile, our American people remain being targeted. And these subjects, these details, because this is a very detailed subject matter here. This is just something that, you just determine overnight. No. We have people that are promoting everything black. It opened the door to everybody, quote unquote, black, coming from wherever, internationally. We have African criminals running amok in North America right now. They've been running amok. To be honest with you, when you really get into the history, they've been involved in every aspect of warfare against our American nations. This is all documented history here. But none of these Pan-Africans, none of these Moors, none of these Hebrews, none of them want to tell the truth of what their peoples have been involved in. We can't count on that. We can't count on or depend on their descendants to tell us the truth when their ancestors lied. And they continue to lie to this very day. Let's continue.
China, of course, over a decade ago, like they do everything, moved into this. We are allowing China in relationships with hospitals, buying up companies.
Okay, now, that's a good point right there. I want to share something to you, right? Now, a lot of y'all may be aware, some of y'all may not be aware, okay? But she just made a good point here. Let's consider this now. So, with China buying up hospitals in the US and North America, right? And we see, I don't go to hospitals, I haven't been to a hospital in a very long time, but I hear from people about how you have a lot of African medical personnel, doctors, nurses, etc., right? Then we also consider the fact that over there in Africa right now, how the Chinese are heavily invested in these African countries. They're doing good business. They got good contracts with them. And they're also contracting with each other right here on our land with no regard for our American people. Let's continue.
Regarding medical data involved in when it comes to maternity, finding out about your fetus and the health of your baby as the baby's developing. It goes to China. The control and the knowledge, the data they have, to say nothing of hackings of hospitals, hackings of our health insurance companies, right? The Office of Personnel Management, Obamacare. Really, we're looking at China and Russia, et cetera. So in deals that the American government could control, we have less control over data. We're allowing foreign countries, enemies, to gather this data and, yes, to potentially use it. The fact that
if we look at food security and what can our adversaries do with biological weapons that are directed at our animal agriculture, at our agricultural sector.
Is this not important? I mean, seriously, is this not important? The food supply has been targeted since they invaded our land. This is ongoing. History is still unfolding from then to now. The crimes against our people are still happening. The crimes against our nations is still happening. This is ongoing. Just like this rat poison issue. working crazy to bring awareness to this. But entertainment has more value than the quality of our existence in its entirety, the legacy of our people, our natural resources, the land, the water, the air, the people, etc. The spirit of our people, everything's being targeted. I've shown King Ferdinand letter to the Taino Arawak Indians. Always bring this up. 1493 letter, right? What did King Ferdinand say to the Taino Arawak Indians, right? He said, we shall attack you from all sides. What does that mean? What does it mean we shall attack you from all sides? Oh, look, fast forward. Over 500 years later, from 1493 to 2022. Look, Senator says enemies could use DNA to target our food. Incredible, right? Let's continue.
Mouth disease, highly pathogenic avian influenza, African swine fever, targeted by an adversary, we know that it brings about food insecurity.
And she's 100% right. She's 100% right. And look, when it comes to data, the point that you made about social media and the fact that our data has been cannibalized for years now already, it should be no surprise to anybody that the 23andMe, for example, could turn into this. The weaponizing of it is something that we're all thinking about.
This must be why. Yeah, Mom, I see you. What you said right here. You said the so-called Africans and pale skins are also controlling the drugstores. Absolutely. The pharmaceutical companies, etc. That's right. That's right. Chinese involved. Everybody's involved. People always ask, what's the solution? You can't get to a solution if you don't know the problem. If you don't know the problem, you cannot get to a solution. How do we get to the problem? By being aware of what's going on. That's what's missing. People are aware of so many things that is absolutely frivolous, absolutely irrelevant to reality. Longevity, things of this nature. Amos Carr, see you, appreciation. We got real world issues going on every day. Are we delegating people within our communities to focus on specific issues? Everybody's not supposed to do the same thing. Yo, we got an abundance of youth that want to be rappers, want to be ball players. Okay. Want to get the bag. Okay. But so, what about the longevity of our people? Because guess what? We got something called securities. Everything that's being discussed here, your DNA, you send your DNA to these people, guess what? They're securitizing it. They're bonding it. They're insuring it. They're doing everything you have not been taught to do. They're doing everything that you have not been taught to do. While they're poisoning you, while they're preparing to annihilate, exterminate, and make you extinct, myself included. I'm not excluded from this. I'm not excluded from this equation at all. The purpose of my presentations and discussions that I present, the information that I share to you all, is for awareness. It's a priority that we are aware. Let's continue. So it says here, I'm about to show these articles also, right? That's what I'm about to show next on following this video. The video's almost over, right? It says the Biden administration and genetically engineered bioweapons research. I'm about to show the article. I look forward to your comments and feedback. So I said
to anybody that the 23andMe
this must be why
could turn into this. The weaponizing of it is something that we're all thinking about.
This must be why. I look forward to your comments. This must be why. Various groups. This must be why Henry Louis Gates, the Pan-Africans, and everybody else, all the different breeds of foreigners, right, have been promoting DNA to the people that don't know better, the people that are unaware, that want to know their heritage, want to know their culture, because they know that they've been lied to, right? You go to grade school, you're being lied to. Oh, you're a descendant of slaves. Da, 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 da. You come from Africa, your people's abandoning you, blah, 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 blah. Pardon me, y'all. I got my window open. Anyway, this must be why. Because these same people that have been promoting all of this DNA testing, right? Well, guess what? They're not informing us about all of this, right? All of this.
Factor. Hoof and mouth disease, highly pathogenic avian influenza, African.
Why aren't the same people that was promoting and debates and this, that, and the other against our American peoples, right? How come they're not informing their audiences about the fact that, yeah, your DNA, that DNA test I told you to take, well, let me give you an update about that. Well, that same genetic information that you paid 23andMe and whoever else, Ancestry and whoever else, to do your quote unquote DNA for entertainment purposes only, right? Yeah, those same corporations, well, they sold it to other corporations that are owned by foreign nations with the objective of creating bioweapons to kill you. Nah, we can't get that information from them. Nah, of course not. Nah. It's called exploitation. That's what it's called. Pure exploitation. Amos Call, what you say right here? Other serious issues are gatekeepers and sellers that look like us. Absolutely. There's so many of them. Embedded in our communities right now. Yo, the preacher, pastor, reverends in every community ain't talking about this in every hood. In every hood, they not talking about none of this, man. Are those gatekeepers? We got that HUD Section 3 information, right? The gatekeepers kept that information from the communities in which they are embedded in, right? The Indian Civil Rights Act of 1968, right? That was renamed by these same quote unquote black gatekeepers into just, the Civil Rights Act of 1968. They removed the Indian from that. Could we call that another form of paper genocide? Could we? The fact that we've been excluded from contracts, prevented from economic programs, these grants, a blank check. What did Martin King Jr. say before he was assassinated? I'm going to D.C. to get the check. The check being named HUD Section 3. And meanwhile, oh shit, all the foreigners that tap into that check, they living it up right now on our land. Money that was designated for us, resources that was designated for us, for our people. And skilled labor and this, that, and the other, everything Donald Trump was saying, right? Labor, that deals with the contracts, skilled labor, construction. You see who got the contracts right now. Look outside your window, ride down your street, catch the bus, walk, ride a bike, whatever it is, whatever means of transportation that you have. If you're mobile, take a look around you and see who got the contracts in your hood. Who got the contracts? Do you and yours got them? Do you and yours know how to get them? Yeah. Do you know how to get those contracts? The requirements are simple too, by the way. But anyway, that's not what this presentation is about today. Situation is, right? Yo, once again, these gatekeepers and these sellouts, that's right. They have been selling. They encourage you to sell your DNA, pay for your DNA to be sold. How about that shit? You have been encouraged to pay for your DNA to be sold so that weapons can be made to kill you. That's what's going on here. How many people find this subject important? This is our future. This is our existence that's on the line. See, I asked myself a question many years ago, right? How did these great civilizations that we was informed about in grade school, how did these civilizations fall? What happened to them? How did it happen? Well, they got invaded. Deals were cut from within. All types of elaborate conspiracies, usurpation, miscegenation, etc. All of these are strategies of war in addition to the physical aspects of war, psychological aspects of warfare, right? That's ongoing. I took time over the years to study Sun Tzu Art of War. I took time to study Niccolo Machiavelli books, right? I took time to read books such as The Book of Five Rings. What's that? Miyamoto Musashi, right? Musashi Miyamoto. Because I wanted to know the mind of the foreigners. I took time to study the Romans. And then magically, the Romans supposedly disappeared. But did they? No, they just blended in to new nations. New nations were established and set up. Similar to what's happening right now in North America, throughout this American continent. New nations are popping up. Our American nations, I had a question this morning from one of the good people, shout out to the Colonial Empire. He asked me, what's up with United Nations? I said, what you mean, what's up with them? He's like, yo, why's people talking about them? Like, well, what do they do? I said, yo, I'm gonna put it like this, man. In regards to my perspective of United Nation, yo, these are United Nations against us. These are nations. These are foreign nations that united against us. I asked him a question. I'm like, yo, how come no one asked the question of if there are over 1,000 American nations throughout this American continent, right? How come there's not 1,000 of those nations being represented at this United Nations, especially the nations that's in New York, right? Yo, we got a lot of nations, Aboriginal American nations, right there in New York, where the United Nations headquarters is, right? Yo, what's up with it? This is awareness here. These are things we should be thinking about, asking ourselves, having conversations with each other about. You know what I'm saying? So we can figure out what the fuck is really going on out here. Because we getting done dirty, dumb dirty. If you don't know what happened to your ancestors, check it. You don't know the wrong that was done then. Fast forward. Do you know the wrong that's going on right now? As descendant of these Aboriginal American nations? People want to have dumbass debates about, are we Aboriginal, are we Indian, are we this, are we that? Motherfucker, yo, what the fuck did you read about your people? What do you know about your people? What do those words mean? Ain't no time to be debating about those dumbass motherfucking words, man. Words have meanings. Words have value. What the fuck does your DNA mean to you? Something to fucking sell? Is that what it mean to you? Pardon me. Hey, Miss Clark, what you said here? You are dropping straight facts, my brother, and the sad part about it is all that our people don't know or are not aware that we are at war and have been under attack since the arrival of the first colonizers. That's right. Another question that the good peoples of Colonial Empire asked this morning. What do I think about FBA? What's that? The Foundational Black Americans. I'm like, hey, yo, they the foundational black colonists, in my opinion. Straight up. When did they get here? Oh, once again, right? I showed that book. Right? Dealing with these colonial colleges. Yo, those Negro peons, once again, those gatekeepers, right? And so many others came from Europe and did what? What did they do when they got here? They went to war with us. Fast forward, still happening, right? It's a lot going on. Foundational Black American, what's that? Foundational Black colonists, man. Let's be honest about that. Foundational Black colonist. That's what it is. It's not an FBA, Foundational Black American. They not American. We are the Americans. Gotta stop playing out here. So yeah, let's go to get to these articles real quick, right? So I'm going to drop these links real quick. So this one here, Center for Genetics and Society, right? Check this out. Feel free to pull this up at your convenience. Yeah, Mama Chief, appreciate you. Up. Check out the stopthegenocide.us website. Feel free. All right. We got that one. Then we also have this one, Dartmouth Undergraduate Journal of Science. Okay, this is another good one here. Check this one out. For those interested in knowing about this bioweapon situation, dealing with your DNA and all of that, right? Yeah. It's not a game, yeah. Drop that right there, too. Here we go. So let's go and get into it, right? So this is, once again, Center for Genetics and Society, the Biden administration, and genetically engineered bioweapons research. This is dated last year, right? 2021. Okay. Troubling innovations in bioweapons research. Yeah. Look, issuing only guidance in treating scientists working in academic and corporate laboratories to screen suspicious orders of synthetic DNA. Suspicious orders of synthetic DNA. Come on. So hold on, they get the real DNA from you, and then what? They make a synthetic DNA, right? You see? What to expect from the Biden Harris administration? It's a very good article right here. We'll definitely encourage you to check it out. It's telling you what's going on with your DNA. Continuing. Got this other one here. Genetically engineered bioweapons, a new breed of weapons for modern warfare. This is dated 2013. In the introduction, it says biological weapons are designed to spread disease among people, plants, and animals through the introduction of toxins and microorganisms such as viruses and bacteria. The method, the method through which a biological weapon is deployed depends on the agent itself, its preparations, its durability, and the route of infection. Attackers may disperse these agents through aerosols or food and water supplies. And what did we just hear? Biological weapons could target DNA food supply, two U.S. lawmakers say. Check these articles, yeah. Check them out. We have a Charles Clark here. What do you say, Charles? Let me read your comment. What about West Point, East Germany Academy? Were they doing the same genetic survival? Um, I'm not. I'm not too familiar with these genetic survival academies. That's not the point of this presentation here. The point of this presentation here is awareness. The fact that we've had people such as Henry Louis Gates and many others, all right, these Pan Africans and whoever else, right, foreigners ultimately, that have been telling our American people to take a damn DNA test. That's what this presentation is about. Because when you take these DNA tests, your data's being sold. They're lying to you, okay? You're being lied to. You're being deceived into thinking that, oh, yeah, let me get my genealogy done. Let me run back what Henry Louis Gates said. And shout out to the good people that have already shared this information over the years, because what I'm doing today is I'm adding a new variable to this. The new variable to this is not only the fact that, it is for entertainment purposes only, one, and then for two, the fact that your data is being sold and bioweapons are being manufactured to kill you based on your DNA structure. This is genocide. The United Nations definition of genocide. This is what it is. Let me show you. Let me show you the definition. Go right here to stopthegenocide.us website. Let me go to put a link in the chat too, so y'all can see for yourselves. This website deals with the rat poison chemical. That's the personal care cosmetic products. Okay? However, I do put the definition of genocide on here. And so, once again, we're factoring in how DNA that has been spit into a container, right? You paid for it, you sent it in. The company that you sent it into, that you paid to send it to, right? Well, they already sold it. Okay? They already sold it. The DNA's already been sold. All right? Now, this is United Nations definition of genocide. Let me go to the link real quick. Show y'all. Let me go and put this in the chat as well. I can see the definition for yourselves. Because when we're talking about bioweapons being manufactured, being developed from your DNA, is that not a definition? Is that not of the definition of genocide? Let's go ahead and read about it, right? Once again, this is the United Nations Office on Genocide Prevention and the Responsibility to Protect. Really? Sounds good, right? Sounds good. Let's just fast forward a little bit. Definition. It says, in the present convention, genocide means any of the following acts committed with intent to destroy in whole or in part a national, ethnical, racial, or religious group as such. A, killing members of the group. Okay. B, causing serious bodily or mental harm to members of the group. C, deliberately inflicting on the group conditions of life calculated to bring about its physical destruction in whole or in part. D, imposing measures intended to prevent births within the group. E, forcibly transferring children of the group to another group. So let's go ahead and run this back real quick. Let's go ahead and run this back. So once again, right? A. Louis Gates Jr., plenty of Pan-African groups. I call the Black fanatics generally, right? Plenty of other breeds of foreigners who do not like the fact that our Aboriginal, Indigenous, Autochthonous American people, all right, value, encourage, promote our heritage, our lineage, so on and so forth, right? Well, they've been promoting taking a DNA test. Let's run it back. Over the years, we have had various groups of Pan-Africans and other foreigners speaking disrespectfully and ignorantly towards our American people's ancestry, culture, and heritage. These same foreign groups use the promotion of DNA testing as a means to falsely disprove our natural American identity. So it broke on CNN. I was sitting in my living room minding my own business. I said, Oprah Winfrey's a Zulu. So I called Rick Kittles. And I said, Rick, did you tell Oprah she was a Zulu? He goes, no, man. She made that up herself. It's a true story. It's a true story. I would lie to make you laugh, but I'm telling you a true story. I would lie to make you laugh, but I'm telling you a true story. He's lied about this DNA situation for quite some time, right? He's encouraged others to lie about this DNA situation as well as others. Let's continue. Sure. So I said, Rick, are you in your lab? He said, yeah. I said, is anybody there? He said, no. I said, when the results come in, make her a Zulu, man. When the results come in, make her a Zulu, man. And so once again, this discussion today is about the DNA that these companies have received, right? The DNA that the companies have received from consumers, right, is being weaponized. Is being used to kill you. Whoever sent that DNA in. Let's continue. I said, you back there making it up anyway. Nobody believe you could take some spit and figure out a tribe? Take some spit and figure out a tribe, right? What, are you crazy? But that is what has been promoted for well over 10 years now. Well over 10 years. Taking spit to figure out your ancestry, to figure out your lineage, descendancy, what nation or tribe you come from, right? This is what's been promoted. With the majority of these tests directing people, Americans, to Africa. By default. By default. What has this done for that, though? What came from these fabricated for entertainment purposes only results? What came from that? Okay, what came from that was a shitload of what is it? Tourism for Africa. Tourism to Africa increased, right? You have Americans that have been deceived, went to Africa. Meanwhile, whoa, what about the statistics of Africans coming to North America? That's a whole nother presentation right there. I'm not even going to get into that today. I've touched on it in past presentations, past discussions, or what have you. But yo, have y'all seen them numbers? Let's continue. Once again, the DNA test is on congressional record for entertainment purposes. For entertainment purposes. It is entertainment, not medicine. Yo, R.L. Smith, I see you. I haven't seen them Africans at my family reunion. That's right. That's right. And you don't want to see them at your family reunion. If you see them at your family reunion, they plotting. they trying to claim your identity. Real shit. Let's continue.
New warning tonight about DNA companies and your personal information. Your DNA information can be sold and weaponized again.
Can be. It has been. It has been. If you took these tests, your DNA is gone. Already gone. And yeah, they've duplicated it. They got technology right now to clone anything right now. They got the technology to clone anything right now. This technology has been in development for many, many decades. Right now, where we are in 2022, moving forward, it has made so many advancements. So many advancements. I'm not going to get into that today either. But these are discussions that people really got to be having out here. The food is being compromised in front of our very eyes. Has already been compromised in front of our eyes from past generations on up right now to the current generation, where now we literally have lab created meat that is FDA and USDA approved. I just read about this last week. And now we're learning about how, oh shit, hold on, what did they say over here? What did they say? Yo, biological weapons could target DNA, food supply. So hold on, you're talking about food, the food supply, right? Having DNA targeted substances, chemicals, bio minerals, or what have you, whatever you want to call it, right? All this super scientific nanoscopic type shit going on, right? This is not sci-fi. This is sci reality right here, right? Yo, they have developed bioweapons from your DNA, and they are inserting it into the goddamn food supply. Is this not important? Is this not serious? Is this not real? Is this not something people need to be talking about? With this being a fact, how come? I mean, where is the since people want to talk about the United Nations? Where they at on this? I mean, after all, they do have this, genocide prevention and punishment. Hold on, what's up though? If we got this information that 23andMe is selling the data is being used to develop bioweapons. By default, that's definition of genocide in itself right there, right? Where the fuck is the goddamn prevention and punishment at? Oh shit, that's right. I forgot. The people that are thinking about this shit. The people, this information is not being promoted, is it? No, this is not being promoted. Nah. It's not to be promoted. So this is what it is, right? Like I say, I encourage self-preservation. I encourage awareness. Awareness contributes to identifying the problem. Because once you identify the problem, now you can work towards developing a solution, right? People need to be talking about all of this. It's just not a game. It's just not a game at all. So I'm just going to play this video through, conclude. Definitely look forward to your comments, forward to your feedback. You know what I'm saying? Definitely encourage you all to share information, share quality information, have discussions with people in your community, right? If you have questions, I will do what I can to contribute answers. You know what I'm saying? I don't know everything. I don't claim to know everything. I don't claim to be a teacher. I'm not a professor, none of that type of shit. No, I study. I'm a natural man that applies my natural mind and spirit. See what I'm saying? That's what I do. What you said right here, Noya. Already have. That's why we see the people now as we see them. They live, the walking dead. We had the purge in 2020. Now look at the world. They have no empathy. They are numb to it. That's truth. Let's continue.
Against you, the alarm being sounded. Listen to this.
You can actually take someone's DNA, take their medical profile, and you can target a biological weapon that will kill that person.
That will kill that person. But see, check it. This is dealing with your lineage. Remember, these genetic markers, right? I'm not a geneticist, but from what I understand about DNA, all right, there are markers that are passed down, that are inherited. These are the characteristics. These are the traits of what makes you. This is your composition, right? And now these corporations have it and they are weaponizing it. So it's not limited to you, but to your entire lineage, those that come from you. If you procreate, right? Let's continue.
People will very rapidly spit into a cup and send it into 23andMe and get really interesting data about their background. And guess what? Their DNA is now owned by a private company and can be sold off. We have to have an open and public discussion about what does the protection of healthcare information, DNA information, and your data look like, because that data is actually going to be procured and collected by our adversaries for the development of these systems.
And before anybody goes crazy on this out there, that's a Democrat Congressman, Jason Crow, so not a right-wing talking point. I have been warning people about this for years, since 23andMe and all those spit in the vial, send it in. We're giving our information away. Health information is valuable information about you, and also the abuse and where the data is stored. You brought up that point in the break, Tammy. I want to go to you first. Who has the data matters here?
It's not the data or DNA that's the problem. It's the companies or the countries that control the data. China, of course, over a decade ago, like they do everything, moved into this. We are allowing China in relationships with hospitals, buying up companies regarding medical data, involved in when it comes to paternity and maternity, finding out about your fetus and the health of your baby as the baby's developing. It goes to China. The control and the knowledge, the data they have, to say nothing of hackings of hospitals, hackings of our health insurance companies, right? The Office of Personnel Management, Obamacare. Really, we're looking at China and Russia, et cetera. So in deals that the American government can control, we have less control over data. We're allowing foreign countries, enemies, to gather this data and, yes, to potentially use it. The fact that
if we look at food security and what can our adversaries do with biological weapons that are directed at our animal agriculture, at our agricultural sector, hoof and mouth disease, highly pathogenic avian influenza, African swine fever, if targeted by an adversary, we know that it brings about food insecurity.
And she's 100% right. She's 100%.
Oh, but she didn't mention monkeypox, though, right? Straight out of Africa. Monkeypox, right?
Right. And look, when it comes to data, the point that you made about social media and the fact that our data has been cannibalized for years now already, it should be no surprise to anybody that the 23andMe, for example, could turn into this. The weaponizing of it is something that we're all thinking about
This must be why. I look forward to your comments and feedback. Yo, much appreciate y'all, American people. Look forward to your comments, whether it's via YouTube or Facebook. We're streaming to both right now. Once again, I encourage awareness, self-preservation. Y'all stay healthy. Y'all stay strong. Be good.